As many, the chair recognizes the honourable member for Central and South Abaco.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I am humbly honored to rise on behalf of my fellow Abaconians in Central and South Abaco. I am grateful to be here to represent my constituents and give my contribution on the 2022-2023 Davis administration budget. This is the way forward. First, I would like to thank my wife, my backbone, my strength, for encouraging me on the path. Any honorable member in this House that has a strength and a partner, as I do, will do well in navigating the country in the best direction possible. I'm also thankful for my children, Valentina and Astor.
Thank you, honourable member. You may continue.
I am also thankful for my children, Valentina and Astor, for their patience and their understanding, as their father cannot always be home. You see, I live in Abaco. My business, most of the time, is here in Nassau to do what's right for my Abaconians. I want to give a special thanks to my team in Abaco that has been with me through election and still to this day, where we work together on moving Abaco in the right direction. I do not have time, I do not have a full-time hired staff, but my team is unwavering, and their sacrifice so much time in assisting me with my endeavor to grow Central and South Abaco. I am thankful to the Honourable Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis for his insight and his faith in my abilities to be Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. I first met the Honourable Member from Cat Island, Rum Cay in San Salvador in Hopetown after the devastation of Hurricane Dorian. After speaking with him and witnessing firsthand his understanding of having to leave him in the rain to continue the ongoing efforts of our community survival, I knew then he was a compassionate and understanding, as few are. I am also most appreciative to serve alongside my minister and the Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Chester Cooper. As I've said, he is a professional patriot and that he has the betterment of the Bahamas at heart. This administration will bring our great nation to the forefront of the world, and particularly working for the betterment of my fellow Bahamians. Madam Speaker, I'm reminded of a quote. All good things start with a dream. The dream becomes a vision. The vision becomes a plan. The plan becomes reality. I started with a dream for Abaco, a dream to be better than we were before Dorian ravaged our shores and destroyed many dreams, and we lost many lives. This dream thoughtfully became a plan. My plan for Abaco will once again make Central and South Abaco an economic powerhouse in this country. This plan is in the first phase of becoming reality with the onset of projects that are currently underway. Abaco is rising, Madam Speaker, and together with my team and my fellow Abaconians, we are proving our resilience and power when we work together for the betterment of all Abaconians. Madam Speaker, while I get into the contribution of the budget, I will also highlight things that are ongoing and upcoming in my constituency. They go hand in hand. See, this budget is for all Bahamians, for all Abaconians. I want to highlight why, inclusive of some of the things that have been going on in my short term as Member of Parliament. I'd like to begin with Great Guanakee. It's one of the jewels of Abaco that has been torn apart by private entities for far too long. It is time that we embrace our Bahamians that live in Great Guanakee and grow that settlement into what it should be, a leader within the keys of the Abacos. My heart is with the residents of Great Guanakee and Moores Island, as they are the keys that have been historically left behind, and this will be no longer. Communication is key, and with my collaboration with Bakers Bay, Great Guanakee is the recipient of new roadways that will be financed in part by this administration and the Discovery Foundation. I will be sure that any private entities of magnitude will work to do what's right for the residents of Great Guanakee and Abaco in a whole. This administration is also working on a micro-government building to house the police, post office, public bathrooms, parking, and a multi-purpose boardroom for the local government meetings and other community gatherings. This will be a blueprint for the keys of similar size across our nation. You see, Madam Speaker, often do we have an architect or an engineer draw up a different plan continuously for every different settlement and community in the Bahamas. This is this is challenging when we're faced with such financial constraints. When we have a model to move forward on many keys of this size, it cuts down the costs and enables us to do more from more keys and more islands throughout the Bahamas. Madam Speaker, Hopetown, once the capital of Abaco, now the economic powerhouse of the Keys, has traditionally taken care of herself. However, after Dorian and the eye of the storm making landfall directly on Elbow Key, the residents and our foreign friends have done as much as they can to bring back the island to its former glory. This Davis Cooper administration knows the value of microeconomies such as these, and they will do what's right for this settlement, beginning with the iconic post office building, which is widely known only second to the famous Candy Stripe Lighthouse. This is as important as any government facility in Abaco. This building holds the post office, the police station, and more importantly, the Hopetown District Council, which is responsible for Elbow Key, Manowar Key, Great Guanakee, Lubbers Quarters, Toulouse Key, Scotland Key, and all the keys in between. The economic contribution to this country within this district is monumental, and we must be sure to give credit where credit is due. Madam Speaker, Central Abaco, inclusive of Marsh Harbor, Greater Marsh Harbor, and Spring City, is our city, Abaco City. Category 6 storm with water elevations over 20 feet swept through our crowded streets and prosperous businesses. Central Abaco is the primary reason I have put my foot into the national arena. I was hurt, and the discomfort was overwhelming when I saw the Keys coming back to normalization and Central Abaco lagging and waning behind. I feel for the residents. I feel for the youth that have to grow up knowing that they have been left behind after contributing so much to our nation. Know and be comforted that this administration, and led in Central and South Abaco by John H.W. Pinder II, will not waver until Central Abaco and all the communities within are flourishing once again. There are many initiatives that this administration has started in this short time, and some that are forthcoming. Affordable housing projects that will be in the forefront of Spring City, Sands Cove, and have already broken ground in Central Pines. Rent-to-own program for those who don't immediately qualify for a traditional mortgage. The much-needed roadworks in Pelican Shores, which holds a marina, restaurant, as well as Bahamian and foreign residents alike. You see, Pelican Shores is a big contributor to Abaco in many ways, and their roadworks I will push until addressed. The extension of the seawall in the crossing, otherwise known as the ferry terminal area. This ferry terminal area is the water transport area for the Keys, Manawar, Guanakee, and Hopetown, which are the major economic contributors, as well as working for Eastern Shore's rebuild of their waterworks. Even long forgotten Sweden's village will eventually have their road and waters dealt with. See, this is a private subdivision that lots were sold before finalizing the horizontal infrastructure. And I feel for these people. There are some legalities to overcome, given it is a private subdivision, but they are on the forefront of getting what is due to them. Central Abaco, the port office is now open for business. And I'd like to say that we're in the works of a new shipping port via a private-public partnership. And this is upcoming. As the timeline progresses, there will be more news on this. And we'll be sure to let the residents and the Abaconians know every step of the way. A special thank you to the honorable member from Elizabeth for her support and continued work on rebuilding Abaco better than before. As spoken about in Minister Colby Davis's speech, downtown Marsh Arbor will be the recipient of a new town center, retail space, and housing development. More details on this are also forthcoming. Just trying to lay out for my constituents some of the things that are ongoing and some of the things that we're working on for our future in Abaco. Madam Speaker, it is essential that we have proper law and order within Abaco to keep it the quaint settlements that they have always been. I am happy to announce that the police headquarters will be stationed in the former RBC building in central downtown Marsh Arbor. This will be inclusive of all services under the Royal Bahamas Police Force. In addition, I'm even more pleased that we will have a Royal Bahamas Police Force Marine Unit on the harbor front in Marsh Arbor. I thank the honorable member for Freetown for his continued consideration, and the commissioner for their continued consideration of our safety in Abaco. You know, that Marine unit will be within the same building as the Customs, and we'll have a Marine patrol boats ready for deployment soon. I express that we are an archipelago, and we are a nation divided only by water, and that we must have the proper facilities to act and react when the time is prevalent. That is why it is also my privilege to announce again and thank the Minister for Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs for the foresight of providing go-fast boats to areas such as ours for fisheries reinforcement. Our natural resources are the reason why our tourists come to our shores. We must preserve, we must protect, we must be guiding light on our waters. Madam Speaker, Spring City is a community in central Abaco that is not given the respect it should have. I am fully aware and attentive to the fact that within all the lands we have in Abaco, the previous administration put our hurricanes debris management site directly across from Spring City. This was one of the greatest mistakes, a decision that was made without consultation of the locals and the Abaconians that live there. I think about this on a daily basis. I think about the people who reside in this community. I think about the children that play in the streets in the afternoons after a rain, when the overflow from the uncapped septics of the domes flood and the debris management site smokes over to the detriment of the people. However, I am persistent in requesting that the Ministry of Environment and the DRA come up with a proper demobilization plan for this debris management site to reduce, limit, remove these hurricane debris from across the street of Abaco's most needed settlements. You see, Madam Speaker, there were many challenges previous to Dorian that were multiplied by the mismanagement after Dorian. But this PLP administration will fix and do what's right for all Bahamians in this country. On another note, as we've seen in the papers recently and mentioned by Minister Colby Davis' speech yesterday, a plan is to assist and relocate all the current residents of the Dome City is being formulated and will be implemented once finalized with the consultation of the people residing in the domes. We can all agree that the domes were never a good idea or a good use of the people's money, nor are they safe for our Bahamian people to continue to live in these awful conditions amongst mold, overflowing sewage, vehicle dumping, and illegal activities, which I would not like to mention in this great house. We will not be kicking the residents out on the curb, but humanely assisting in finding them suitable and safe housing in this ill-managed and waste of citizens' funds can be demanded. Finally, this will be dismantled and forgotten. It is time to move forward. Furthermore, I'd like to let the community of Spring City know that their sewage issues are being addressed. Madam Speaker, within weeks, our revolutionary program for the free Wi-Fi internet will commence in Abaco with Spring City Community Park, and eventually to other Abaco communities as well. This is a pilot program giving free Wi-Fi to the Bahamians across the nation. I am hopeful that the community center will utilize this and our use this infrastructure for their betterment. You see, Madam Speaker, many programs and educational initiatives are provided nationally and internationally, can be accessed via the internet, but not everybody has this resource. This can be a gateway to certifications, accreditations, and the information needed as our young Abaconians may have particular skills of interest at heart. This is important. We must nurture, we must provide the means, we must push forward our young Bahamians to be the best that they can be. Sometimes one spark can lead to a future doctor, teacher, scientist, or many other professions. The same community park is within my sights for complete revitalization. I hope to have this revamp started within the start of the upcoming year. Madam Speaker, I initially removed all hurricane debris from the VIAC park and reestablished electricity from BPL and collaborated to have the overhead lights reinstalled. The chairman, the honorable member from Southern Shores, and myself are in talks, and soon time will be bringing covered stalls and a park layout so that my plan to initiate regular farmers markets and crafts markets can come to fruition. This is not only an initiative to enhance our food security, but also another venue for our foreign visitors to support. This will showcase our cultural craftsmanship and local talent to the world via our transient visitors. Madam Speaker, for far too long, our sports and culture office have been closed. I am not one to judge if the previous administration thought that we had not the sports capabilities to compete on the world stage. However, with utmost pride, I must highlight that our homegrown Abaconian, Stephen Gardner, is not only an Olympic gold winner, fastest athlete in his respected division. A special thank you to Coach Williams down there in Moores Island for his dedication in sports. This shows the essential needs for our sports and culture office not only to be open, but fully operational to nurture and encourage our youth to the best that they can strive to be. The Sports and Culture Office in Abaco will be open sometime in July. Special thank you to Minister Boleg, who is leading an initiative to revamp all Bahamian sports facilities around the country. And thankful that he has put Abaco into the list of priorities, inclusive of Central Abaco, South Abaco, Moores Island, speak for my colleague, and North Abaco. We need to foster the youth so we can continue to be a heavyweight on the world stage of sports. We have also initiated the revitalization of Junkanoo, as I have spoken in the initial meeting in Abaco. I encourage all communities to bring forth their best talent so that we can highlight what Junkanoo really is in each of our respective communities. It's important. That's culture.
That's right.
Bring back to the forefront. It's another reason why our foreign visitors come to these shores.
That's right.
In the very early stages, I am actively pursuing an indoor sports complex for Central Abaco. My hopes this will be a meeting ground for our talented young athletes, no matter the weather, for them to practice and hone their skills. This is an initiative that will take some time. However, when it does, it will also be multi-purpose as a major hurricane shelter for the residents of Greater Marsh Harbor and Spring City. I look forward to updating you as this timeline progresses. We are still in the early stages of planning. Madam Speaker, recent extended power outages in Abaco further highlights the many challenges still faced post-Dorian. Some settlements off more than 2 days. I went home for a weekend. I was off more than 2 days, 2.5 days. Before I speak on those issues at hand, I would like to publicly thank the Abaco BPL staff and the ground crew under the leadership of Mr. Green, because they regularly go above and beyond to keep our power on and to fix in the shortest time possible when faults arise. It is clear that this Abaco BPL team is undermanned and under-equipped. Abaco is an island of over 120 miles with a mainland and over a dozen inhabited keys. Personnel, equipment, and vehicles are essential to smooth operations and quick recovery. For example, currently, we only have 5 skilled men, of only which 3 are highly skilled, experienced people to work on the distribution system servicing all the Abacos in the Keys. This is particularly challenging when several outages occur throughout Abaco simultaneously. The Abaco manager often has to work on this distribution system with the team when he should be concentrating on management of the whole, and all this without an assistant manager. On the generation side, only 2 seasoned mechanics to maintain and run Wilson City Generation Plant. I pray for this crew's good health, for if they are out sick or on leave, Abaco will have serious difficulties. A further restriction that creates extensive delays is the lack of autonomy that the Abaco manager has that was taken away. Making decisions in real time would greatly increase the ability to rectify faults and react faster. I encourage the new BPL CEO to give serious consideration to allowing the Abaco manager to have authority he needs to get the job done. Mr. Green should have the same authority as a director or a deputy director, and I have full faith in their team to do the job in a timely manner once given the full complement of manpower, proper equipment, and autonomous authority. Madam Speaker, access to potable water by the UN standards is a human right. This is further highlighted by the health concerns of our recent pandemic. It hurts me when I hear of households, children, schools, etc. with no water at times. The new water plan in Central Abaco was well thought out, with solar generator. BPL is a backup power source. However, in the installation of this new water plant, the pumps needed a specialist to finish being installed. Under the previous chairman, this water and sewage plant was built with water pumps that the water and sewage crew could not hook up. I am thankful to the current chairman, the honorable member from North Eleuthera of the Water and Sewage Corporation, for his dedication in finding out why there was a delay, how we can overcome, and bring this installation to completion, and his ongoing time he puts into making sure it happens. I would like to let my fellow Abaconians in Central Abaco know that I've been pushing from day one. There was an assessment. I was informed 2 months after that, after the beginning of the year. It was informed in March. Then the chairman took a hands-on approach, and I applaud this. And seeing exactly what stood in the way. But I am happy to inform that this is now complete and operational. While I'm speaking of Water and Sewage Corporation, I will be remiss not to remind the ongoing suffering Moores Island needs to be completed and challenges to be addressed with the immediate fashion. Their water goes off at 8 p.m. and has been for many, many years. Imagine coming home from work and not being able to clean yourself. Imagine children waking up in the morning to go to school and unable to brush their teeth or wash their face. Water, again, I repeat, potable water is a human right and must be addressed immediately. You see, Madam Speaker, these are more examples of the Minister administration and the FNM administration mismanagement for many years. However, this Davis administration will govern properly and fix it. Madam Speaker, Cherokee Sound is the birthplace of my grandfather, Eugene Pinder. It is a picturesque Bahamian fishing village that to this day has kept its roots and charm dating back hundreds of years. It is a long, winding road you must traverse or a boat ride to the famous Cherokee Long Dock, one of the longest in the Bahamas, if not the. They are often forgotten when it comes to infrastructure and community fundamentals. Although they are resilient and they regularly come together to do what's needed, get what's needed done, I would like to say that you are not forgotten. The winding road I speak of is dangerous, especially at night or when larger vehicles are passing. I am working with local government and a private individual who has the same concerns as I do in regards to road safety. We are formulating a plan to smooth out those dangerous corners and give more room on the most treacherous parts of the only road into Cherokee Sound, Little Harbor, and Winding Bay. An assessment and completion of your clinic will be done in short time so that Cherokee Sound and surrounding areas will have proper medical facilities. I am aware of the need of a fire station, and I know that you have a good team already in place. It is my goal to have proper firefighting equipment and facilities in each of the communities with my constituency. I will be furthering this conversation with your local chiefs to bring this to reality. See, knowing firsthand the importance of having a dedicated team that is properly equipped should have an emergency or a fire arise. For I was and still am a part of my hometown volunteer fire and rescue team since an early age of 12. I will not falter. I will not slow. I will not stop until every community in my constituency have basic fundamental life-saving services. Madam Speaker, South Abaco, including Casuarina Point, Bahama Palm Shores, Crossing Rocks, and Sandy Point, is on the verge of a tremendous growth and economic boom. My plan for Abaco on a whole is that we must stretch our economy and tourism products to all areas in collaboration with my colleague from the north. But South Abaco has so much to offer in terms of environment, people, beauty, and natural wonders. To prepare for the growth soon to come, I have highlighted the garbage disposal sites of the Minister of Environment. These sites in Casuarina, Bahama Palm are done on a needed basis. That's unacceptable. The sites in Crossing Rock and Sandy Point are more regularized. However, their contracts do not fully cover the work needed to manage them. I am pushing for these sites to be regularized and contracts to have the financial teeth needed for the proper resources in management now and for the immediate growth to come. Waste management is important for preservation of our environment and important for the health of my southern Abaconians. The demand in terms of investment projects for South Abaco is high. Many people see this as an opportunity to build and grow an investment. I see it as a job opportunities in establishing a robust economy in the South. I have noticed for many years residents having to drive into Marsh Harbor up to 60 miles and often having to take a boat into the Keys for work to feed their families. There is much opportunity in the South, and I am here to make sure that the right opportunities are able to grow and investments that are beneficial for the Bahamian people and have the resources do what they promise. I am pleased to see Serenity Point recently sold and the private property next door to an eco-friendly investor who is underway in building a top-class eco-community. I'm looking forward to seeing the growth, the job opportunities that this project will bring. South Abaco is an environmental wonder in itself and has over 50,000 acres of pine forest set aside primarily for our Abaco parrots and the preservation of the blue holes within. Developments in the South have unique opportunity to highlight these natural wonders. I am also pleased to announce the long-awaited Project Abacoya, which will be a world-class marina and golfing community. The size of this project shows the confidence in Abaco's economy and will be a great factor in the establishment of South Abaco's prominence within the Bahamas. As previously stated, any investment that is presented must have the best interests of the local communities. This project will collaborate with our government to bring a long-awaited, much-needed airport and FBO to Sandy Point to service South Abaco on their dime, as well as setting aside a considerable seven-figure financial contribution for upgrades projects needed in Sandy Point and Crossing Rocks. I am working with the developer to be sure Bahamian companies are utilized and Bahamian forces will be trained and employed. This project will be breaking ground, this year, and you will see movement on the airport facility in the upcoming year. These are only two examples of economic growth opportunities that are underway, and there are many more on the table. I will be assured that they all have the betterment of the Abaconians and the preservation of the environment at the forefront of any negotiations. Madam Speaker, Moores Island is a place of unmatched beauty within the environment and the people. Moores Island boasts many wonders such as caves, blue holes, world-class bone fishing, spearfishing, sports fishing, but they have historically been left out and left behind. Not anymore. This administration backs me on my vision to give them the necessities to Moores Island that they so desperately deserve. As you've heard from the Minister of Public Works, the honorable member from Fort Charlotte, contribution, significant infrastructure will be built and upgraded on Moores Island. Yes. I am proud to announce the building of a reinforced concrete pier that will serve as the main freight and landing dock for the fishing boats and visitors, as well as the refurbishment of the two smaller docks used primarily for fishing boats, a seawall to protect the street road on waterfront, an airport terminal, and the extension of the airport runway. This $12 million project will be an investment on the people of Moores Island and for the Bahamas. The money spent on the infrastructure will be recouped in the way that they are known for, fisheries, and what I am bringing as a new industry to this island, tourism. When you grow up in Moores Island, traditionally you only have two choices, go fishing or leave your home in search of work. When you grow old, you can no longer fish, and your monies you worked so hard for slowly dry up. This will be no longer. Bringing tourism to Moores Island will be bringing opportunities for entrepreneurs, for employment, for another choice so they are not forced into fishing or leaving their hometown. Moores Island boasts nearly 800 Bahamians, and many times that spread across this nation. Yeah. They have the workforce, they have the attributes. Yeah. I envision a Moores Island that keeps its quaint fishing town characteristic and highlights and promotes their natural beauties and resources. When I first came to Moores Island, I asked them, do you want to fish more, like everyone is telling you, or do you want to grow your island into economic powerhouse and a gem, not only in the Bahamas, but for the world? With overwhelming response, it was said, quality over quantity. They entrusted me with their support, and I laid out a plan that starts with these infrastructure projects to properly bolster the necessities for an island nation, seaports and airports. I'm devising a plan with the Ministry of Tourism to showcase what Moores Island has to offer and invite our friends to come, feel, smell the taste of the highlands. Madam Speaker, the highlands is what they call it. I have grown to understand why. Approaching the island with great elevations, pristine, perfectly clear waters, great fishing, Moores Island will be an example of sustainable tourism, an example of what Abaco has to offer, and a showcase of proper leadership and guidance enabling communities to flourish. Madam Speaker, the Family Island Infrastructure Fund is a historic step forward in support of the Bahamians in the Family Islands. I am proud to be a part of a government that is inclusive of all Bahamians, from the south, Macau, all the way to the north, Grand Bahama, yes, and all islands and keys in between. Our ancestors are rooted in islands spread across this great nation, yet some have migrated to certain islands for work or education. And now it is now time that we make every island in the Bahamas an economic powerhouse. Yeah. Every island deserves year-round commerce and education at all levels for our youth. This fund will be seeded $200 million with the beginning of a 10% and increments year after year, 25%, with a goal of increasing up to 35% by 2025. This fund will be used for family island infrastructures like roads, buildings, school teachers' housings. Let me tell you, Madam Speaker, when I came to my constituency for the first assessment, all the school teachers' housings in my constituency were not livable. This is years of mismanagement. It is important to note that this is not a substitute for regular public works capital projects. Local government will have a bigger role and influences. Their suggestions will have an impact of where these funds are most needed immediately. Prime Minister Davis noted Family Islands will have their own dedicated fund to ensure that they keep pace with national development. See, inclusive of all Bahamians, Madam Speaker. It is vital to have access to necessary financial resources to bring every island in the Bahamas to a working standard and fundamentals implemented for Bahamians across our archipelago. I am particularly thankful for this, having served in local government, knowing the budgetary downfalls in trying to progress even the smallest projects. Coming from Abaco, we historically have the Prime Minister's, coming from Abaco, where we historically have, in the Prime Minister's own words, punched above our weight in the terms of economic output and receiving less than the necessary financial resources to operate. Central and South Abaco, as your representative, I will make sure that we are in the forefront of receiving from this fund and using them where needed most. Madam Speaker, being an archipelago, flight service is more than essential. It is necessary for our continued tourism growth. Our airports are the first impression to a majority of the Abaco's visitors. Most Bahamians travel for basic needs in healthcare, business, education, leisure. Abaco alone has 4 airports and many landing strips. And in terms of stopover visitors, private aircrafts, Marsh Harbor is the premier private aircraft destination in the Bahamas, second only to Nassau. The Abacos are also the second most visited island in the Bahamas when it comes to private aircraft. This is something we want to build upon. And this aviation fund is addition to the Family Island Infrastructure Fund that will assist Abaco in keeping with our ever-increasing demand. Post-Dorian, our Abaco airports have had a lot of infrastructure challenges, and that needs addressing. The Aviation Fund will assist with the rebuild of our Abaco Flight Control Tower, fire station, refurbishment of terminal, etc. And this is not only for Abaco, but all the family islands. A fund specific for aviation infrastructure improvements throughout the Bahamas will aid in keeping the family island experience pristine, starting with the first steps on our soil. First impressions are lasting impressions, Madam Speaker. The immediate reduction of duties on food is already felt as relief from the worldwide inflation. Reduced duties on fresh food like meats and vegetables is a real relief for every Bahamian. Far too long have we heard about breadbasket item, which is only a small portion of the grocery store's receipt. I know and have already felt and heard the relief brought to regular Bahamians across this nation due to these reductions in duties and in some cases, complete removal from duty from food items. Furthermore, I am appreciative that this is done on real food, real vegetables, and real meats that will not only feed our families, but will reduce the ever-increasing healthcare burden by eating healthy. The reduction of duties on agriculture, marine, and boat parts and other manufacturing industry parts is an incentive to grow and start these businesses and a great help in making Bahamian companies competitive. Every reduction in cost of our Bahamian business is a real relief and could be the difference between closed doors or succeeding. Madam Speaker, owning a home is it's the start to a family, it's the start to having your own place of comfort and safety. I'm encouraging all Bahamians to purchase or build a home. We have increased the exemption for stamp duty on homes, and it is now up to $300,000. The first-time home buyers concessions are now inclusive of land and buildings as well as purchasing or renovating a home. There is a $40,000 VAT refund on construction services and materials to given to homes occupied within 18 months. Transfer of property is VAT reduced, and the elimination of VAT on land transfers between joint tenants, for example, Bahamians that inherit land with siblings. To push our businesses and commerce within our country, we have reduced rates on commercial properties. And not only that, it is retroactive to last year. See, Madam Speaker, these are examples of real relief within the budget for my fellow Bahamians across this nation. I know this will be a help for many Abaconians. I know this will be a tremendous burden lifted from everyday Bahamians trying to get ahead in life. Madam Speaker, this budget includes incentives to make the Bahamas competitive in agriculture and pave a path towards our goal of food security. In this budget, increase in food security allocation will aid farmers with greenhouses, smart technology for food production training, modern technology aimed at agriculture. Modern technology has incrementally advanced the agriculture field, which has improved farmers' techniques, yields, quality, and need for labor. Training our farmers of new methods or techniques will reduce barriers normally encountered, like soil quality, water usage, labor, and common threats to crops and animals. I hope that this will inspire more youth to enter this industry and create more local farms throughout the country. This field is now an even more desirable sector with the growth, potential, and large profit margins, not to mention one of the most important, feeding our country. Thank you, honorable member from Central and South Loutra. Abaco is home to one of the largest chicken farms in the nation, yet we only produce 5% of the total consumption. The budget offers incentives and support for local poultry producers throughout the Bahamas by lowering the cost of electricity, which is a big percentage of their overall operating expenses. I encourage more Bahamians to explore fields in agriculture and animal husbandry. My fellow Abaconians, take advantage of these incentives. My fellow Bahamians, take advantage of these incentives. The time is now to implement your dreams of becoming a producer of farming and animal husbandry. We need more chicken farms, more pork farms, more fruits and vegetables grown locally. I would also like to express our natural grown fruits such as soursop, sapodilly, sea grape, sugar apple, guava, jujus, hog plums, and many, many more. Madam Speaker, all of these are a good opportunity to produce and sell, given they are naturally grown in our islands and can easily be scaled to size, even for export.
Yes.
Think outside the norm. We need producers of all types of food to ensure our goal for food security reduction of food imports by 25% in 2025. Madam Speaker, I am an environmentalist. I believe only second to our next generation of our youth that the environment and our natural beauty are our greatest resource. Carbon tax credits are real. They are tangible, and they will help our people, help our government with the new ways of producing revenue while retaining and protecting what we cherish in our beautiful waters and ecosystem. The prohibition of conch exports in commercial quantities is extremely encouraging. We must sustainably harvest this precious resource that is restricted worldwide and highlight conch as a lure to our tourism guests to come to the Bahamas for fresh, natural delicacies. Yes. This action will help sustainable harvesting so that we may enjoy and have plentiful conch for generations to come. Furthermore, we're increasing royalties and export of seafood. This is another step forward to conforming the industry for the continued harvesting of our fishing resources for our children, their children, and their children's children to come. Incentives such as these, previously mentioned, and the inclusiveness of our renewable energy for power distribution will further increase the revenue we can generate from carbon tax credits. Carbon credits are a real and tangible way to generate money for the Commonwealth of Bahamas. Many companies and even countries pay top dollar to offset their negative impact on the climate worldwide. See, Madam Speaker, there are initiatives. These are initiatives that will bring us not only to the forefront of the international community in pushing forward, but to bring this country to another level of our evolution. Next year, we will be 50 years old. We are a young country, and we know we can be so much better considering our over 100,000 square miles of pristine archipelago, resiliency, and the beauty of our people shown throughout history. Madam Speaker, this administration has appointed a cabinet subcommittee to focus on advancing our commitment to transform power generation. Discussions are underway to incorporate solar solutions throughout the Bahamas. This will not only help the environment and lead to more clean energy, but also, our Prime Minister Davis has mentioned in his speech, this will expect it to keep the long-term average cost of electricity low, preferably to 20 cents a kilowatt, or a 20% reduction over the current levels. I am particularly pleased with this initiative to install new and resilient renewable energy power generation system in Abaco. In keeping with the Green Energy Plan, solar panels, lithium batteries, and other items necessary for solar reduction have seen a reduction in import duties. Duties on electrical vehicles, including golf carts, under 70,000 value have been reduced to 10%. Many Abaconians post-Dorian have implemented solar power generation to their homes, and many others have expressed a desire to add solar, but initial costs have deterred them. This reduction will assist more homes in incorporating solar generation to their homes, businesses, and an aid in clean energy production in the Bahamas. Madam Speaker, I would like to touch on our tourism product. In particular, the segments that I believe are very beneficial in the increasing of our revenue and a part of the umbrella to which I am responsible for. Again, I would like to thank my minister, the Deputy Prime Minister Cooper, for his leadership in the tourism, investments, and aviation, and his trust in me to oversee these important sectors. I would like to emphasize he is a results-driven professional who continuously works for the betterment of this Bahamas. Tourism, directly or indirectly, is the main revenue generator for our great nation. We must not only encourage, but act upon the diversification of this product, not only in terms of sector, but to every island in the Bahamas. I will briefly express some of these sectors to which which will be beneficial in this nature. Yachting and boating and private aircrafts have the greatest impact of our economy. Their expendable income when coming into our country is second to none. Stopover visitors, which also includes hotels and short-term vacation rentals, only account for about a quarter of our total visitors. However, they directly account for nearly 90% of our tourism revenue. This is a very important sector. We are putting forth many initiatives to make it a seamless and fluid process for entering and exiting, while highlighting the many destinations that can be visited. You see, Madam Speaker, time for our visitors is important. The more time or hassle they have getting in or out of our country, the less time they have to deposit their funds within the Bahamians' hands. It is our mission that visitors in the near future will not just come to one destination and see one island, but take an extended vacation and see multiple islands and multiple destinations to really experience what the Bahamas has to offer. We are increasing our focus on these sectors for growth so that we may show and encourage Bahamians, young and old, there are many opportunities to profit from these tourism-driven opportunities. As many of you know, our short-term vacation rental market is ever increasing. It is particularly felt in the family islands and seen by Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, and other online platforms. We are in the process of quantifying and knowing exactly how big this impact really is. This administration is making sure that all businesses in this country are contributing their fare to the Treasury. This is an important, for they also use the docks, the airports, the roads, the telecommunication structure, the water, the electricity, and the adding to the overall garbage collection. You will hear more about this as the timeline progresses. However, it is good to know that the impact of on the local hotel sector is minimal. And this is another part of our tourism economy that is thriving, and we will capitalize on it for our Bahamian people. There are also new initiatives by this administration for Bahamians to take advantage and benefit directly from short-term vacation rentals. Entrepreneurism is key. I want to encourage all Bahamians to look into the short-term vacation rental market, look into being a boat guide, fishing guide, look into the private aircraft market. These are all up and growing sectors that there is tremendous job opportunities and they pay well. Madam Speaker, I would like to speak to you a little about fly fishing. Most people believe fly fishing is focused only on boat fishing, although that is a major segment. Fly fishing has grown worldwide into a sport in which you can catch many species, including mahi-mahi. As this industry grows internationally, the Bahamas is recognized as one of the premier destinations. I would like to express the lucrative career opportunities in being a guide for our incoming fly fishers. Education and training programs are being designed and will be rolled out soon for our Bahamians to have the skills to capitalize on this market. Another sector of tourism growth, another opportunity for our Bahamians, jobs and careers and entrepreneurs. I would also like to express that fly fishing lures are handmade. That's another product for our Bahamian crafts markets. And they're not cheap. There's good money in that. Emerging markets is a technical term within the tourism that is underutilized and not developed as it should be. The majority of our tourism market is derived from the United States of America, and although we are most thankful for our northern neighbors, and we would like to see more from places like Florida that are so geographically close. Let them bring their speedboats, let them bring their personal aircraft, and see multiple destinations within our country. It is important for the Bahamas to reach and touch other nations throughout the world and to showcase what the Bahamas has to offer. In the Ministry of Tourism, we are emphasizing the need to diversify our international demographic. We must and we will attract visitors from all across the globe so that people of every nation can enjoy the natural beauty that is the Bahamas. While we attract visitors around the world and diversify our segments of tourism, it is important and essential that we begin to highlight every island across our nation. There are many places that are seldomly seen by our visitors that offer so much. In this upcoming year, we are focused on promoting those niche destinations throughout our nation. Places like communities in Long Island, small islands of Mangrove Key and South Andros and Spanish Wells and Cat Island and Rum Key and Acklands and Berry Islands and my personal favorite, Moores Island. See, we're an archipelago of many islands and keys and communities throughout this nation. When I hear of 16 destinations, I say we're so much more. And we are going to emphasize those, build on those, highlight those, market those so that our Bahamians will have opportunities throughout this country and diversify our economy from one end all the way to the next. Right? Sound good, right? Being an island nation, we are particularly positioned for our boating and private aircraft visitors to touch multiple destinations, as every island in our nation is vastly different and offers unique experiences. Every area within these markets are being expanded and focused on for the benefit of our fellow Bahamians. There are teams that are built and focused on each segment. We are real and concerned. No, we are real and focused. Pardon, real and focused in that we bring tourism dollar to across our nation to every community.
Actually near completion, but not completed yet. So I would like to extend the time beyond 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Honourable Member. It has been moved and seconded that the business of this House will proceed beyond the 1 p.m. hour. All those in favor shall remain seated. Those opposed will stand. The motion is agreed. The business of this House will proceed beyond the 1 p.m. hour.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So as noted by our Deputy Prime Minister, these are segments of growth, segments that I am experienced and knowledgeable in, and segments that I will be putting my full heart and appreciation into growing. Madam Speaker, if I may ask for 10 more minutes of time.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You may proceed, Honourable.
I will be brief. I'll wrap up rather quickly. I have much more to say on these markets, these segments, and the appreciation to diversify our tourism through sectors and throughout our nation. But we will unveil these as the timeline progresses and make sure that the Bahamians throughout this country know what's going on. We are going to be coming to different island nations so that we can work with the local governments in highlighting what you have to offer so that we can properly utilize the Ministry of Tourism to highlight it internationally for our visitors. We want to create a menu for our visitors. We want to create this a multiple stopover or a triple stopover vacation destination. A special thank you to the staff, the managers, the directors, the PS, Senator, in the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. They are the backbone. They are the legs. They are the arms of this ministry. They regularly go above and beyond and know that tourism affects all Bahamians' source of income, directly or indirectly. Madam Speaker, at this time, I would like to At this time, I'd like to bring back and address my fellow Abaconians in Central and South Abaco so that I more foreshadow some of the initiatives that are ongoing and soon to come, so I could further foreshadow. Firstly, I am thankful to all the public service workers in the various departments that are the backbone of many departments and provide various services throughout the Abacos. Many have been left behind and forgotten in terms of elevation or even becoming permanent and pensionable after decades of service. I am thankful for their dedication. I am thankful for for them to strive and for them ongoing striving and to complete the task with limited resources and being ill-equipped. This budget recognizes your hard work as is announced as an increase of minimum wage for public sector workers to aid in the rising cost of living. As you probably noticed, I continuously encourage the Minister for Public Service, the Honorable Member from the Golden Gates, to come to Abaco, and I appreciate her very much, and assisting in fixing many of these situations and hearing their concerns. What I personally promise is that I will not stop. I will be your voice in the various to the various ministers responsible for their respective departments until they are properly equipped and have the tools needed to perform their duties. I would like to highlight that the Public Works Department in Abaco, during my initial assessment, I realized how few workers they have in a disposal and how truly disgraceful lack of equipment needed to perform and address the many miles of island and keys. This is being addressed. This administration is fixing these departments, and we will operate and function appropriately. In closing, you will notice that my no, I'm closing that. Sorry, 2 more pages. You will notice that my colleague and the honorable member from North Abaco and I have had a couple department heads meetings. We will continue to do so that we may bring the concerns to the forefront of the table, which will be able to address them in immediate fashion. Communication is important. Communication is essential. I encourage all departments in Abaco to bring your concerns and challenges directly to hear eyes so that we, if you are ever met with headwinds, so we may assist and put our weight where is needed. Madam Speaker, I am thankful to the Attorney General for his insight on the challenges that the Family Islands deal with on a daily basis. I am proud to say that in the near future, Abaco will be a part of a pilot program to host our own deputy registrar. This is monumental. No longer will we have to rely on New Providence registrar for simple things as marriage certificates, birth certificates, and documents that are needed in every aspect of our lives. This saves time, travel expense for every Bahamian in Abaco that will also and will also facilitate an ease of doing business, one of our priorities. I would like to briefly mention a personal initiative that is close to my heart. After Hurricane Dorian, we saw in the Abaco Keys the value in homegrown nonprofit organizations. In Hopetown, these homegrown nonprofit organizations, in collaboration with our foreign friends, were able to rebuild government school, government clinic, government library, docks, CIS-BPL, CIS Royal Bahamas Police Force, and much, much more. This enabled us to get back to business in such an expedited time. It showed that with the love of our country by our foreign friends and with the resiliency of our people, there was nothing that we could not accomplish. I am taking this vision to the next step, and I am in the process of creating the Great Abaco Foundation. This will be a nonprofit organization with 501c3 tax exempt so that we may do the small projects, Abaco-specific programs, scholarships, and hurricane preparedness. Combined with our established government initiatives and programs, this foundation will further aid my fellow Abaconians in small projects, grants, scholarships, and more. You will hear more about this in the coming year, and I'm proud to set forth on such an initiative to help the youth of Abaco for many generations to come. My fellow Abaconians, if you reside in a community that I have not mentioned or not in a community that was mentioned and you may believe there is a pressing challenge at hand, I would like to convey that within my term, all communities within my constituency will be addressed. Furthermore, I encourage all Abaconians within my constituency to forward me their insights and their priorities respected to their communities they live in to my constituency email address, john@johnpinderabaco.com. I read every email. I take every concern seriously. I appreciate the intel because I cannot see everything all the time. And those who live within the communities knows what's best for the communities. My mission during my tenure as your member of Parliament in Central and South Abaco is to grow our economy to all corners of the constituency. This is only the beginning, and Abaco will be stronger year after year. In my plan, at the end of this term, our GDP contribution will be greater than pre-Dorian. I spoke on many aspects and how this budget will be a benefit for the Bahamas and in particular my fellow Abaconians. I would like to speak directly to the Abaco diaspora and Abaconians living across the Bahamas. Come home. Abaco is on the verge of an economic rebound. All Abaconians, come home or send your money home. Abaco is your home. Abaco is... and it is important to be a part and have faith in what Abaco will become. Abaco is in need of great talent and Bahamians with heart and deep-rooted love for Abaco. Quickly, I would like to say congratulations to all the students graduating in the upcoming week. Unfortunately, I will not get to make a lot of their graduations, but stretched from Sandy Point all the way into Central Marsh Harbor. Congratulations on coming to the next grade. Congratulations on graduating high school and endeavor to do great things. Madam Speaker, this Davis-Cooper administration has a plan, a blueprint for change. I have a plan for Central and South Abaco. Central and South Abaco supports this 2022-2023 budget. This is the way forward. God bless my honorable colleagues that make this amazing New Day team. God bless my fellow Abaconians, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Chair recognizes the Honorable Member for West Bahama.
Stirring and revolutionary contributions to the budget. We now move for the suspension for lunch to return at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Marco City will be on the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Is there a seconder? It has been moved and seconded that the business of this House be suspended until 3 p.m. All those in favor shall remain seated. Those opposed will stand. The motion is agreed. The business of this House is suspended until 3 p.m.